The Foul-Mouthed Elm Tree, a short story. There is an art to speaking with trees. For the most part, it is an innate skill and cannot be acquired, but I can give a few pointers for beginners. For a start, we mean big trees. Saplings have nothing to say. It is only big trees, old trees, that can hold a conversation. I saw a young man recently trying to talk to a 3-year-old silver birch, unaware of how ridiculous it looked. A silver birch won't start talking until it's 7 or 8. Secondly, don't assume that all trees speak English. They do, of course. They pick it up easily from pedestrians and passers-by, but they like to pretend they don't. You might have to trick them into it. When I visit a heritage city, one with something to boast, I march directly to the municipal office and collect a copy of their register of notable trees. Then I set out to see if any of them are feeling loquacious. It will only be the old and big ones that care to say good morning, although some will say Buenos dias or Guten Morgen in phony accents. You have to call them out and say, come on, English. Following the register's tidy arrangements, I ambled down upon Murdoch Avenue to find the massive willow planted by settlers in 1882. Good morning, I say, noting the sunny disposition of the occasion. Beautiful day. Oui, oui, magnifique, says the willow tree. The sun is out, I say, ignoring the francophonics, and a soft breeze loiters butterflies in their wanton. This is the other thing. When you speak to trees, you have to give your words a sort of meandering vegetative inflection. Isn't it gorgeous? Says the willow tree, dropping the French. It's so beautiful, so splendid, so sunny, so softly breezy. I just want to cry. And the tree burst into tears. Willows can be emotional, in which case you can spend a good half hour consoling them and saying, there, it'll be okay. After this, I find the famous Norfolk pine, a 6-story colossus down by the lake. Looking mighty this morning, I say. Konnichiwa, says the tree. You're not fooling anyone, I say. You're from Norfolk. You've never been anywhere near Japan. And I compliment him again at being massive. You should see me in springtime when all the birds are back home, he says. There is also the distinguished hornbeam, fastigiata if you don't mind, near the railway station. Planted on Queen Victoria's 70th birthday, it pretends to speak Italian. No speaker to English, it says. Pull the other one, I say. You don't stand around outside a railway station for 120 years without picking up the local gibber. It then told me how Queen Victoria was born in the long days of May, and how it did its best every year to flower right on cue. Then, listed in the register, regarded as notable, planted in the city's second boom, I seek out a semi-deciduous ulmus, the golden elm. It is a lofty specimen on Wilson's Road. Well, aren't you majestic? I marvel, walking up friendly. Fuck off, says the elm tree. I beg your pardon? You heard me. Fuck off. There's no need to be rude, I say. There's no need to be jolly, says the elm. Now fuck off. I walked around the offending tree for a minute, wondering if it had a canker. You've got acorns up your arse, it said. The insults of an elm tree will very often have to do with oaks. The elm might say, for instance, your mother met your father under an oak tree, which is one of the filthiest insults an elm can muster. You're disagreeable this morning, I complain. You think so, acorn dick, it says. A foul-mouthed elm tree can require a trained arborist in some cases, and I didn't see it as my place to teach it some manners. I was just out for a cordial greeting and a quick how do you do, I explained. I'm from out of town. I'm working my way through all the notables. I hold up my copy of the register and point out that the tree has its own page. Suck my twig, says the tree. Did you wake up like this? I ask. Blow a catkin, it says. Go stick your quercus in your rober. You're exceedingly rude. Piss off. It is in circumstances like these where it is good to recall the next rule of talking to trees. The one thing they love to talk about most is time. Even a cantankerous elm tree can be lured into a conversation on any topic to do with time. This is what I tried next. I was talking to a cypress tree recently, I say, and he was pointing out how time, no matter what you do and how hard you try, never goes backwards. Have you noticed that? There was a long silence. I was just saying that the other day, says the elm tree. There's been a bit of talk about it round here. Time doesn't go backwards, no matter what you do. No, I said. So this cypress was saying. It is in fact the sort of thing that trees love to talk about over and over. Not only was the elm just saying it the other day, and there had been talk about it around there, most likely it had been a matter of discussion for over 100 years. It never gets anywhere, all this talk about time, but it is what trees like to discuss. And yet, I said, there are the cycles of the seasons, ever on repeat, and the flying arrow of time seems to loop in circles, unaccountably. Good point, said the elm tree. I've got a few rings I could show you to prove it. After that, the tree's demeanour improved considerably. Time, I say at one juncture, is a moving image of eternity. Oh, says the elm tree. Can I borrow that? Sure, I say. This is an object lesson in how to deal with trees with poor attitude and a parade of leafy expletives. Don't expect an apology, but in most cases you can turn the conversation onto any time-ticking topic and the tree will talk along. Try saying to it, if time is an ontological reality like space, then there is no objective flow of time and future events are already there, and you will certainly get its attention. If it continues to tell you to fuck off and making aspersions about oak trees, you may need to consult an expert. Some trees, like some people, just grow nasty as they get old, and they give up caring for niceties, and they've already surrendered to time's slow compost. Often a family of possums has moved in because the old bones of the tree grow hollow. After this I wandered off to a chestnut planted by Mrs. Edith Sterling, a pioneer woman at the grave of her husband Jack in 1922. Well, hello, I said, impressed to see the tree so nutty. Das Verdanya, it said. I quickly weaned it off Russian and we had a pleasant tete-a-tete about how time moves slowly on a rainy day. Don't be impatient with trees. That's important. They're in no hurry. They've seen a bit of life, more than you, and if they pretend not to speak English, it is because of a woody reticence, and because there are not many people with the knack of speaking to trees, not fluently. Often a tree will clear its throat and begin a conversation with, unaccustomed as I am. For all of that, it is, as I say, not a skill that can be taken up if it is not in your blood from the beginning. But if it is, it can be nurtured into a wholesome pastime, and there are only a few traps for amateurs, and if you can avoid foul-mouthed elms and trying to converse with a 3-year-old silver birch sapling, you will be doing well.